I am starting to get worried that Candy's gonna put me in the dungeon and throw away the key.
I need to actually steal you. They want to talk to you upstairs.
I need security. Y'all got security in the building.
Can we all be something?
No.
So one person talking. Sheree the strongest. Come on. Oh, Sheree the strongest.
I'm coming.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, the Brooke Ashley, and today we are here to discuss The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 15, Episode 13. And before we get started, I already know that I am super late with the recaps, but forgive me because your girl was on a cute little quick vacay. I told you guys, in the summertime, I am booked and busy, all right? I like to enjoy myself. So if the recaps are late, just forgive me, okay? But we're back. Now, this episode had a lot going on. We see Cynthia is back. We're still talking about what happened 2 years ago at her bachelorette party. And I don't know how many times I can say it, but I am so over Drew and the lies. Girl, just own it. You kissed LaToya, you liked it. Just admit that you did it, and let's all just forget that it even happened. I don't know why we're still rehashing what happened 2 seasons ago. I am so ready for us to cut to the part where Drew files for divorce and we see her and Ralph battling it out. But all this other stuff is just fluff. And we're all exhausted. I see that a lot of you guys have stopped watching. I don't blame you. This season just isn't giving. But with all that being said, y'all, let's just jump right on into it because you guys already know that we don't have a minute to spare. We open up this episode with Sonya at home, and since it's Christmas time, we see that her and her sister are wrapping up some gifts. Now, I'm not going to hold you guys. I have no interest in Sonya's storyline. This whole dilemma with her and her sister not getting along, and there's all this tension in the house because she has her mama, daddy, her nephews, her brother-in-law, and her sister all living with her and Ross. I don't care. I'm just so over this whole dynamic, and Sonya always crying about it in every episode. Her sister's so dry. I don't care. Honestly, I just think that Sonya is boring. I don't think that she brings anything to this show. I don't. So that's probably why I have no patience when it comes to her or her scenes, because I've checked out. So we see Kandi at Blaze Steakhouse. I said one thing about it. Kandi's going to always make sure that she promotes her businesses. So anyhow, she's there and she's meeting up with her good friend Cynthia Bailey. Now, let me just say, Cynthia was never my favorite. I never disliked her. I thought that she was cool. She had her moments where she could be really shady, but honestly, it was like a breath of fresh air seeing her on my screen again. And I watched her on Candy speak on it too, and it was a cute episode. But anyhow, Cynthia's back, and Candy is going over how much she loves Cynthia, how they're great friends, and how much she misses Cynthia since Cynthia's been back and forth from LA. So Cynthia says that she's rebuilding her life. She's back at Lake Bailey. I am so happy that she did not sell her home because Lake Bailey is beautiful. And I'm all for Black women especially owning homes, and I'm just so happy that she did not sell that property. So anyhow, Candy's like, I know you don't want to talk about what went down in the divorce. And Cynthia's like, nope, don't want to talk about it. It was a hot mess, but I didn't expect to be divorced a second time around. Now, Cynthia, let me just say, and it's no shade, sis, and I don't mean to rub salt in the wound, but anybody could have told you that Mike Hill is not cut out for marriage. You were his third wife. You heard out of his own mouth, what was that, season 11? And his daughter was in the kitchen when they had that party, and he was talking about he has all these female friends and how he's never been faithful to any one of his wives and how he wasn't even in love with any of his wives. Anybody could have told you right then and there that, you know, Cynthia, you might want to pump the brakes. I don't think that Mike is your husband. And look what happened. 2 years into the marriage, and you had to call it quits because he was already out here sliding into DMs, already cheating. A hot mess. But I'm like, you know what, Cynthia, I hope you at least got a good divorce settlement. But I mean, I'm not surprised that it did not work out. Now, did I think that they would get divorced so soon? I always thought that they would at least hit like the 5-year mark. But I'm happy that Cynthia said, shout out to everybody, I have fun, when she found out that Mike was on some BS.
Oh! Shout out to everybody. I had fun.
I gotta be good.
I did feel bad when Cynthia was like, it just sucks to be starting over again as a 55-year-old woman. And I said, Cynthia, I don't think you have to worry about your age because you look great. I mean, I don't think she's gonna have a problem dating. I really don't. And there's nothing wrong with starting over. There really isn't. It's better to start over than to be in a messed up situation. Staying with somebody just to say that you're married and have a husband, that's not a flex. Especially if they're cheating on you, treating you poorly, talking to you crazy. You're better off divorcing and starting over. So now they change gears in the conversation. She's excited for Kandi's bedroom Kandi event. So Kandi's like, yeah, I'm excited too. I can't believe that we're celebrating 10 years of bedroom Kandi. And she's also introducing a new product called the Peach Fuzz at her party. Now I said, I know we joke about Kandi always starting a business, but you have to admit that really is impressive that she launched Bedroom Kandi, I think, what, season 3, season 4? And the fact that 10 years later, it is going strong, she's made millions of dollars, and it's low-key a household name. Because when you think about Kandi, you do think about Candy Coated Nights and Bedroom Kandi. So I said, how cool is that she had this idea and she's thriving. So now Kandi brings up how all the women have been invited to her party, and then she brings up that she's gotten into it with everybody except for Kenya. She's like, baby, the girls have been on my neck. So Cynthia wants to know what happened between her and Drew because she was really surprised when Kandi called her up while she was in Portugal. And she's like, yeah, girl, what happened? So Kandi explains that her and Todd are producing this movie called The Hall Pass, and they casted Drew to be the lead. So she's like, the movie's about this couple who give each other a hall pass, and the wife has her hall pass with another woman. So because of the movie, we were all talking about, well, who here has ever had a girl-on-girl encounter? And you have Drew lying, saying that she hasn't. And I'm like, girl, yes, you did, in South Carolina at Cynthia's bachelorette party with LaToya. So Kandi's like, pretty much, Drew is denying it. She's also saying that I made it up and that I'm a liar, and I don't appreciate that. Now, one thing I will say about Kandi, since Kandi has joined this show, I don't remember Kandi lying about anything. She might get on my nerves with how she allows Mama Joyce to treat everybody and talk to people poorly, but I will say that since watching this show, I don't remember any time that Kandi has lied. And there is no reason for Kandi to lie on Drew about what she saw. And what really gets me is if Drew is so concerned about her image and she's denying that she's ever kissed a girl, then why was she so eager to take this role that Kandi and Todd offered her? So Kandi says, look, I am very sex positive. I'm here for doing what you want to do. I'm not going to judge anybody. But all I want to know is, what's the big deal? Why is Drew sitting up here lying? I'm not going to sit up here and out somebody, but it just makes no sense that she's lying when I clearly saw what I saw. Now, Kandi, I don't know why you're expecting somebody like Drew to be honest when Drew can't be honest with herself. So again, it's like, why are you surprised? But Cynthia had me screaming. She said, now, I don't know if you casted everybody in the movie yet, but just know that me and my cheekbones, we're here. I said one thing about it, Cynthia is always ready to collect a check. Always. So I said, yeah, go ahead, Kandi, and put her in the movie. Cynthia's divorced. She's no longer on the show. So I'm sure that she needs every piece of a check. And that's no shade. I have to say, this scene with Kandi and Cynthia, it really gave me like the old school RHOA vibes. It was nice. It wasn't forced. It was organic. It felt nice to see an OG back on our screens. Like, I was here for it. So now we jump to Kenya at home. The way my ovaries were doing jumping jacks, I said, y'all will not do this to me. Kenya is babysitting her little baby cousin, and he is the sweetest. I guess he must have been like, what, 3 or 4 months old, and seeing Brooklyn playing with him, I was like, y'all, I was really sitting up here saying, okay, it's time. So Kenya says that she's really enjoying babysitting her baby cousin on her dad's side, and how she really wants another child, and she wants Brooklyn to have a sibling. And why was I screaming when they showed Brooklyn being a bit jealous of Kenya holding the baby? And Kenya was like, no, Brooklyn, why are you acting jealous? Like, mommy still loves you, but I have to hold the baby. And Brooklyn was not here for it. She was like, well, I'm cute too. And then it was so adorable when the producer was asking Brooklyn if she wants a baby sister or a baby brother, and she said she wants both. I said, well, all right then. I said she wants a whole bunch of siblings. That was just so cute. And when Brooklyn was saying that she wants her mom to buy her a bunk bed for her and her future siblings, and I don't know why I was getting all teary-eyed just seeing her and Kenya sitting there with the matching dresses. I was like, see, y'all will not have me out here with my ovaries doing jumping jacks like this. I said, you guys will not do this. But I was just so emotional watching Kenya with Brooklyn and her little baby cousin. And you have Brooklyn rolling on the floor with her baby cousin, and she's playing with him. And I was like, this is so cute. I could definitely see Kenya being a mom of 2 or 3. I could see it. I was like, that scene really warmed my heart, y'all. I was emotional. I was sitting up here like, oh my gosh, I want a little baby girl. I was child. That was just adorable. It really was. I said, I just need more scenes with Kenya and Brooklyn. And I was watching Kenya do a recent interview with Angela Yee, and she was saying that she pitched Bravo a spinoff show where we see her and Brooklyn go to Paris, because she takes Brooklyn to Paris every single summer for her birthday. And I was like, I would watch that. That would be a really cute show. If they were to let Kenya go after this season or next season, I would not mind seeing a spinoff with Kenya. I think it would be great. Or if we got a spinoff with Kenya and her new hair salon, I would watch that. But again, I'm going to need more scenes with Kenya and Brooklyn. Now, this scene with Drew at home and she's cleaning out her closet with her assistants, it just felt so fake to me. I'm like, girl, why do you need to organize your closet? If anything, Drew, a lot of your outfits need to be thrown out. Like, if I'm being serious, I think that Drew dresses the worst on this cast. A lot of her outfits are a miss.
No.
But another thing, her assistant Tony, he looks so familiar. I feel like he was on another reality show before. Did anybody else catch that? He looks so familiar. But anyhow, they're asking Drew if they need to organize Ralph's side of the closet. So Drew says, yeah, let's organize his side too, because I'm trying to stay on his good side. Now, right there, that's alarming to hear, because you don't need to be walking on eggshells with a grown man, especially your husband. That's concerning to me, that you feel the need to stay on his good side. So if you don't organize his side of the closet, what's going to happen? I have always gotten the impression that there has been some other stuff going on in their marriage behind closed doors. YouTube gets weird when you talk about certain topics and certain phrases, so I won't say it, but I've always gotten the impression that he might have been doing a bit more than just disappearing and cheating and talking to her crazy. You get my drift? Drew did not vet that man properly at all, because if she did, she would have never said I do to him. She would have let him go. She would have said goodbye to him like 2 or 3 months into dating, because it is clear that there's something wrong. I think that Ralph is a narcissist. I really do. I don't think that he's able to be in a functional marriage. I don't think that he wants to be a husband, but just a hot mess. Now, when Ralph came into the closet, and they start talking about the whole Portugal trip and the argument that occurred between her and Kandi. And she's like, yeah, babe, they brought up the whole Bolo trip again, and they're saying that I kissed LaToya and I clearly didn't. And you noticed how Ralph was smirking when she said that? And even he said, well, honestly, I don't know what the big deal is. It looked like Ralph was almost trying not to laugh during this scene. It felt so forced between the both of them. And I got the impression that even Ralph was like, girl, stop lying. You know you kissed her, just come clean. I said it's a sad day when Ralph can't even take you seriously. And also, I don't know why Drew's denying anything. This is the same man who went to Tampa for 3 days and you still don't know who he was with. So I just said, whatever you did in South Carolina, that's just payback, in my humble opinion. So I wouldn't be sitting up here denying anything. I'd be like, yup, I did that, and this. And you still won't tell me what happened in Tampa. So I guess we're even. Like, I don't know. I just think that their whole dynamic is a mess. But the way I can't wait for the episode where we see Drew file for divorce. Like, I am counting down. We have, what, 4 or 5 more episodes to go? And then the reunion? I'm like, damn. So Drew keeps saying that she doesn't understand why Candy's lying on her, and if Candy wants to give the role to somebody else, and that's fine. Then she brings up how Marlo was filming her. She's like, isn't that illegal? Also, Marlo's fake. She's the ops. She's a criminal. And now Ralph wants to know, how is Courtney acting on the trip? So Drew reveals that she was not pleased by Courtney's actions, and because of that, she wants to get to know Courtney even more, and she's going to stop calling her cousin Courtney. She's like, you know what? That's not really my cousin, so I'm going to refer to her now as just Courtney. And I just said, child, the shade of it all. Now, like I've been saying, I do not see it for Miss Courtney. I think that she is extremely thirsty and very desperate. It is clear that she wants that peach badly. We can skip right over this scene with Marlo at home, talking about Scotley with her assistant, Tiny. I don't care. This relationship is fake. I'm not interested in hearing Marlo pretend like she's really into this man. I'm not buying it. Also, I've said this so many times before, I just cannot picture Marlo in a real relationship. And a lot of you guys have stated that you also can't picture Marlo in a relationship either. So glad to know that I'm not alone in that. But I just said, yeah, I just cannot picture it. And I feel like all of Marlo's past relationships were transactional and sugar baby-esque situations anyway. I don't even know if Marlo's ever had a real relationship, if I'm being honest. So now we jump right on over to Kandi. She's at her studio. Sheree comes over. And Kandi says that she's happy that her and Sheree are in a better place, especially since they got out all their issues with each other and they cleared the air. Now, personally, Kandi, you're a bit too nice for me because I don't feel like you and Sheree cleared up anything. And if I were you, Sheree would have had to give me an apology because I didn't like how you apologized to her when all you did was defend yourself and clap back at all of her BS. I feel like Sheree has the hardest time taking accountability for what she says and does. She always wants to cry like she's the victim. She always wants an apology, but she can't seem to do the same when she's in the wrong. And she's in the wrong all the time. And you see how miserable Sheree is? Because she's talking about, I think that me and Candy are in a great space right now, but I'm upset at the fact that she had to leave my trip early. I wish she would have stuck around in Portugal longer. What don't you get that Candy has other obligations? She let you know from jump that she had to perform at a concert with her group. That's why she left early, sis. It wasn't like she left early just because. Sheree is always trying to find fault with everything that Kenya and Candy do. You clearly don't like them. Sheree is such a weirdo. I'm like, girl, what's your problem? And your trip was a bust anyway, sis. It was a complete flop. So now we see Candy asking Sheree about her new boobs. Sheree got a lift. I think that she got one of her implants replaced. And so she's like, oh my gosh, I just love them. Martell loves them. And now we see Sheree throwing shade in her confessional talking about, oh yeah, I went to the same doctor that Candy and Kenya went to. And it's like, if you thought that you were outing them about their surgery, you weren't. Like, the joke's on you. Kenya and Candy have admitted that they got their boobs done. So I don't know why you were saying that as like a gotcha moment, like you outed somebody when you really didn't. And I need for Candy and Kenya to wake up and realize that Sheree is not their friend. She is always trying to find a way to throw them under the bus. And what was Sheree's purpose for coming to visit Candy in the studio? Because all she did was start up mess. She's talking about, okay, so what happened in Portugal when you and Drew got into it? So Candy's like, look, I saw with my own 2 eyes her and LaToya kissed. Kenya saw it too. So I don't know why she's lying. Then Candy says, and one thing about me, I'm not a liar. So Sheree's like, well, Drew said to me that you're lying and she thinks that you're producing this to get hype for your movie. So Candy's irritated. She's like, she's out of her mind. And honestly, at this point, I don't even care if she's in the movie. So here goes Sheree talk about, oh yeah, she said that too. She said to me in Portugal that she's not pressed about being in the movie anymore. So Candy goes on to say that it feels like an attack on Candy's character and the fact that it's a low-key attack on her business because this movie, that's her and Todd's baby. And for Drew to talk about, well, Candy's lying and Candy's only saying this to drum up some promotion for the movie, she feels insulted, and rightfully so. So then Candy says, you know what, if that's how she feels, that's cool. We have other friends who are actresses, like we're good. We will definitely find somebody to replace Drew. Now, did anybody notice how happy Sheree looked to spread all this mess? I was like, Sheree, you don't have anything better to do with your time than sit up here and stir the pot between Candy and Drew. And I think it's also insulting with how Sheree's trying to posture like, I don't know who to believe, like, what's the truth? Girl, you know damn well that Drew is lying. There is no reason for Candy to lie. So for you to even say, well, Candy, she's over here saying that you're a liar, like, what's the truth? You know, what's going on? Like, Sheree, you just can't help yourself. Sheree is the worst person to be around. But Candy reveals that she's invited LaToya to the event, and then she says, look, y'all better not be messy at my event tomorrow, okay? Because it's just been mess between me and everybody in this group for a while now, and I'm tired. Like, I'm at my breaking point. Listen, while I have my thoughts and opinions about Candy, I will say that it's definitely strategic at how the group keeps coming after her all season long. I think that there's jealousy involved because she's been on the show now the longest out of everybody. There's also some resentment if they feel like she's getting special treatment. And I think that they're just jealous of the fact that she's a hustler. Her money is good whether she's on the show or she's off the show. And a lot of these women can't say the same. If they lose this paycheck, it's gonna be real hard, i.e. Miss Sheree. Okay, that's why she was begging to be on this show for a third time. Because that mortgage over at Chateau Sheree or Chateau Thelma and those car notes and that power bill, I'm sure it was wearing her out without the check. We know Sheree's long history of not paying her bills, okay? And her money is nowhere near as long as Candy's is. So I think that there is some jealousy there, the fact that whatever happens to Candy, she will always be good. And they need this show. This show is their lifeline. And Cynthia even pointed that out in the speak on it that she did. And she was like, you know what, girl? You're so successful. You have all these businesses. Whatever you do seems to be a hit. And that can be very intimidating and very irritating to people. And they feel like they want to take you down a peg. And it's true. It's a very sad truth, but when you're doing well in life and when the wins keep coming and it seems like every time you turn around, this person is just killing it, that's when the hate comes. And I can talk about this firsthand because I'm dealing with that right now. Whereas God is blessing me, and this is not to say it in an arrogant way, but He is. And honey, when I tell you that the jealousy and the envy from so-called friends has been at an all-time high, I can't even make this up. I plan on doing a standalone video about it, about how it is truly lonely at the top and how success truly reveals all. But when you start really killing it in your life, honey, Don't expect to have friends. I am so serious. Like I said, I don't want to get off topic. I do plan on doing a standalone video about it because it's been on my heart for months and it's tugging at me to just do a video about what I'm dealing with right now because I think it needs to be told. But I really do think that Candy's success off and on the show bothers a lot of these women, i.e. Sheree and Marlo, and that's why they want to take her down a peg, and they've been starting with her since the beginning of the season. So now it's the night of Candy's Peach Fuzz or Peach Passion sex toy party, and it is exactly what you would expect from a bedroom Candy event. The venue is really cute. Everybody's dressed for the most part in a peach colored dress. And you have these performers there who are demonstrating the products. It's a very sexual party. I mean, of course, it's for a sex toy, duh. So we see Sonya and Ross arrive. Don Juan is there. He's like, now girl, I know that you're Mommy Nation, but this ain't Mommy Nation. This is Mommy and Daddy Nation. So we see Moneta and Courtney arrive. Now, I was shocked to see Courtney. I was like, if I were Candy, I would not invite Courtney. Too much has been said. I mean, I know they kind of made up some episodes ago, but again, I'm petty. I hold a grudge. Courtney would not have been there. And she damn sure would not have been getting a free gift bag with all my expensive toys. Absolutely not. You can pay full price, sis, on the website. And with you in this fake relationship with your baby daddy, I know you need some. So anyhow, we see Sheree arrive. So now Sheree is being all complimentary and she's like, you know what, Candy? This is so amazing. I was there with you 12 years ago when you first wanted to launch your own line. Remember we were at the sex toy store? So Candy's like, yeah, I remember that. Now I said, Sheree, it's such a shame that we can't say the same thing about you. Candy joined this show in season 2. You were on this show since the beginning, and you have yet to accomplish anything. She by Sheree has been a complete bust. And meanwhile, back at the ranch, we've seen Candy launch several successful businesses, including a successful Broadway play. And in all this time, what have you accomplished? I'll wait. I'll give you a point for the fact that you did finally have a fashion show with some fashions last season, and you do have a few pieces. But again, it's just so sad how you fumbled the bag. You should have been in the fitness lane. Fitness was your true calling. I mean, you would have made a killing. And it's a shame that in all this time, you've accomplished so little. So Candy considers herself a sex pioneer. She's responsible for millions of orgasms. And then she goes on to say that 10 years ago, it was taboo for Black women to even buy sex toys. Now, while I give credit where credit's due, I don't know if I believe that. I feel like in 2012, 2013, Black women were talking about sex toys and sex freely and openly. I could see maybe in like the 90s or early 2000s, it might have been kind of taboo, but like in the 2010s, I don't remember it being this taboo thing about Black women having sex toys. I don't know. So we see Marlo arrive and she's all sweet. She's like, me and Candy might have our issues, but I'm very proud of her. And I'm like, Marlo, don't act like your issues between you and Candy are Candy's fault. You're the one who's created all the issues between you two. Like, let's be clear. You have said such nasty and vile things about her. And I was very surprised to see that Candy invited Marlo. Because like I said, Marlo would not be there. You don't get that right to slander my name and my businesses, and then you want to pop up and act like we're good. That's not how this works. But Candy makes it clear that she can be cordial with Marlo, but her friendship is off the table. And Marlo has a very jealous and envious spirit anyway. So when she said, oh, I'm just so proud of Candy and all this stuff, it's like, girl, save it. You don't mean it. So just stop. But we do see Kandi showing them the peach toy that she's launching, and she's telling them like how to use it and giving them all these tips. Sonya's writing it down like, okay, like, I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna try that. I guess they must have used the peach toy because we see that Sonya's pregnant again. So I said, I guess the bedroom candy's working for somebody. So now we see Cynthia arrive. Everybody's happy to see her. Cynthia's happy to be there. She says that she's single again and she's here for all the bedroom candy. So now Kenya arrives, and I was a bit nervous to see how Cynthia and Kenya would interact with each other, because if you watch them on Ultimate Girls Trip, it was a hot mess. They weren't speaking for almost a year. They both hug each other. We learned that they reconnected when they saw each other at Teresa Giudice's wedding, and they started talking. Kenya said that she had no idea that Cynthia had all these issues in her marriage, and then with Cynthia's mom being diagnosed with breast cancer, she was just happy to have her sister back. So she's like, I'm just so glad that me and Cynthia are back on track. I love her to death. Like, that's my girl. Now, if you didn't watch season 1 of Ultimate Girls Trip, I suggest that you do it. I personally feel like the first season was the best season of Ultimate Girls Trip. You had Cynthia, Kenya, Ramona Singer, Luann, Kyle Richards, and Teresa and Melissa from Jersey. But we see Kandi thanking them all for coming out to her party. And now you have Sheree starring the mess. She keeps asking, where's Drew at? Where's Drew? I'm like, Sheree, this is Kandi's event. She spent a lot of money. Like, just stop. Sheree is not happy unless a fight breaks out. I'm like, my God, do you ever rest? Sheree is just so miserable. She can never just have a nice, fun night. Girl, you weren't even there 2 years ago in South Carolina. So why are you so invested in this whole drama between Kandi and Drew? Leave it alone. So Kenya says, look, several of us saw what we saw. Drew looks silly lying. So Sheree interjects and she's like, nobody cares about a kiss, but we are talking about somebody's character. I said, Sheree, don't you ever bring up a person's character. You have some of the lowest character. Sweetheart, please do not get on your high horse when you're out here not paying people. So Kandi says, finding out that she's sitting up here calling me a producer, that's really pissing me off. So as they're talking about Drew and Ralph arrive. So Cynthia's like, oh my gosh, Drew, we were just talking about you. So it's a bit tense, it's a bit awkward. And I felt like Drew's attitude was off. And it's like, girl, if you don't want to be there, then you could have stayed home. Don't come to Kandi's event with an attitude. And I was really pissed off with Drew trying to throw that weak shade, talking about all these allegations started at a Kandi horny event, and now here we are 2 years later, and it's the same allegations at another Kandi horny event. Now, when Kandi, Drew, and LaToya went upstairs to hash out their issues and get to the truth, I thought that Drew's whole demeanor was off. You have Drew sitting on LaToya's lap. I'm like, okay. So now you guys are the best of friends now. It's obvious that LaToya and Drew aren't making any sense. Then you have Drew saying that she's afraid that Kandi's gonna throw away the key and lock her in the dungeon. I was like, okay, Drew. If you have all these bad feelings towards Kandi, once again, why are you here at the party then? Because if I feel unsafe, if I feel uncomfortable around somebody, then I'm not going to attend their events. But that's just me. So you have LaToya saying that her and Drew started off toxic, but now they're cool again. Then you have LaToya saying, you know what? Let's call up Marlo. So Don Juan summons Marlo to come and join Kandi, Drew, and LaToya. And Marlo's all nervous. She's like, oh Lord, like all this drama. So baby, Marlo gets up there and Kandi's like, Marlo, why were you filming Drew? And why did you send that video to LaToya?
A conversation about the videos.
Right.
Why were you sending the videos?
I just sent the videos to her so she could see them for herself. You said when she sees you, she always speaks highly on you, like she likes you, and for her to be sitting there talking about you hurts your feelings.
So now Drew cuts in talking about Marlo went and edited the video. And Marlo's like, girl, what the F are you talking about? I didn't edit anything.
Because the videos were edited. And you didn't send her the whole video.
Videos.
Send her these little clips.
You are a liar. Anyways, call me later. She lies a lot.
Now, Marlo is many things, but Marlo has never been that bright. So I don't see Marlo editing anything. I doubt she even knows how to edit a video. So Marlo starts screaming, she walks away, she's over it. And I was like, Drew and LaToya, I need you to just come clean and let's just end this because I'm over it. Everybody else is over it. Candy's over it. And you guys both look stupid. Especially you, LaToya, because you already admitted that you guys kissed. So to see you backpedal now, it's just also dumb. So the conversation is going nowhere. And Candy's like, look, like what you like, but just don't lie on me. I know what I saw. So now you have LaToya saying, well, why would Candy lie about us kissing? So now you have Drew talking about, oh, maybe Candy was fantasizing about us because we're hot girls. Candy was like, bitch, please.
If you know you're not fab, stop coming out like, bitch, like you that girl. You not fab like that to be doing all of that.
Like you wish, but that's not the case. I said, Drew, if you don't stop, please spare yourself the embarrassment because you sound crazy. At this point, Candy's like, we're gonna have to agree to disagree. Let's just enjoy the party. I don't want to fight anymore about it. It is what it is. We're not getting anywhere. You're not going to admit anything. I saw what I saw. It is what it is. Let's just go back downstairs and try to have a good time. So Candy, LaToya, and Drew join everybody else. And now we end the episode with a clip of the season 13 after show when Candy and LaToya were addressing the kiss. And LaToya is denying it. And Candy's like, girl, stop it. I saw you. You guys kissed. Like, just stop. And then we see Candy saying that if she misjudged the moment, then she apologizes and she stands corrected. So now we see Drew talking to the producer and she's like, I just don't like anybody lying on me. And that's where the episode ends. Y'all, they have one more episode to bring this up again or I'm going to stop watching. I don't know how much more I can take. I feel like I've been duped. I really had such high hopes for this season and it's been a big disappointment. And it feels like a chore to get through. Like, I'm tired. This is so pathetic that we're talking about what happened between Drew and LaToya in South Carolina. I'm so over it. Atlanta, y'all need to get it together immediately because this ain't it. We cannot go another season with this stale drama and this stale cast. There needs to be a shakeup. I'm so serious. But guys, that was my recap. Thank you all so much for watching. And you already know what to do. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all later. Bye.